Good evening, followers, and welcome to a Townsville Stormwatch and surrounding districts video cyclone update. This Friday, the 12th of February 2016. We'll have a look now at the Bureau of Meteorology's cyclone forecast map, and this was issued at 12 past 5 on Friday the 12th of February. And what we can see is here is Tropical Cyclone Tatiana, just here, just to the northwest of Noumea as a Category 2 cyclone. The Bureau is saying that, or are expecting this system to continue a little bit to the southeast before it then tracks more southerly. And by tomorrow morning, they're expecting it to be here just off Chesterfield, still as a Category 2 cyclone. And it's at that stage it then starts to de-intensify as it continues its southerly track. It's a bit of a wobbly track, but at 4 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, they're expecting it here to be directly west of Noumea, quite a way off, not expected to affect Noumea whatsoever. And then by 4 a.m. on February the 14th, it seems to pick up pace a lot as it de-intensifies into this low, and sitting here just to the northeast of Sandy Cape. And then at 4 p.m. on February the 15th, it's expected to be just off the coast of Tiwantin. I hope that's pronounced correctly. It may not be, but anyway, it will be southeast off the southeast coast of Queensland. And then by 4 a.m. on February the 15th, doesn't seem to go very far between 4 p.m. on the 15th and 4 a.m. On the 15th. In actual fact, I have gotten that incorrectly. It seems to actually be doing a bit of a U-turn. So at 4 a.m. on February the 15th, it tends to be between Brisbane and Sandy Cape, and then it seems to do this bit of a U-turn and starts to head back up into a northerly direction. And so the Bureau have said in their Tropical Cyclone Information Bulletin at 4 minutes to 5 Australian or Eastern Standard Time this afternoon, they were saying that at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Friday, Tropical Cyclone Tatiana, which was a Category 2 cyclone with a central pressure of 985 hectopascals, was located over the central Coral Sea near latitude 18.3 south, longitude 159.4 east, which is about 1,050 kilometers northeast of Yeppoon and 950 kilometers northeast of Sandy Cape. Tropical Cyclone Tatiana is currently moving southeast at about 12 kilometers per hour. The system should continue moving in a southerly direction overnight before heading to the south or southwest while transitioning into a deep low pressure system during Saturday. So that's what the Bureau of Meteorology is expecting this system to do. And here we have the satellite imagery of this system, and we can see that here it is just off the coast of Yeppoon, and pretty much out there in the center of the Coral Sea, heading sort of in this south to southeasterly direction, not really affecting the Queensland coast weather-wise, although there is the warning of some quite dangerous swells happening sort of in that central to southeast Queensland area. So that's certainly something to look out for. And the other thing is that we can see in this satellite imagery is the second system, which is just here in the middle of these two sets of islands here. It's also moving in a south to southeasterly direction as well, and also intensifying at this moment. So we're now looking at the GFS model for the rest of this of these two systems lifespan, and here at the GFS at the moment, and at 6 p.m. here on Friday the 12th of February, we can see that we've got Titania sitting here in the middle of the Coral Sea, just off the New Caledonian Islands, and its friend here also sitting sort of just to the east of the New Caledonian Islands. We now have a look at what these systems are likely to do through into Saturday the 13th of February, and we can see that these systems continue pretty much in this southerly to southeasterly track. Titania is weakening as she goes, whereas her little friend here is continuing to have quite a big punch to it. So it doesn't see or doesn't look as if it is de-intensifying that quickly, or certainly not as quickly as what Titania is. Now we go through to Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and what we can see here is that pretty much Tropical Cyclone Titania has pretty much just washed out a little bit, still packing quite a bit of a punch here to its southern sector, but pretty much it's lost its closeness, or its form at the center. So therefore, by this stage, we would be expecting it to be just a deep low. When we say deep low, that still does pose a bit of a threat, certainly to the beaches in the southeast coast of Queensland. A dangerous swell conditions, certainly. And if we can have a look just at the precipitation of these two systems, and we can see that, well, it's not really hitting the coast at this stage, but there is still certainly, if you're off the coast, we could have a bit of precipitation with Titania at this point in time. Looking through now to Monday at 9 a.m. Just very quickly to see what this system then tends to do. And we can see that she's made this bit of a U-turn, and she is now heading back up north, up the Queensland coast. Whether she re-intensifies or not, at this stage we can't say for certain, but she may if she gets into some favourable conditions, but at this stage likely not to do so. Her little friend over here near Tonga is still punching quite a bit of a bite here to its southern sector, to southwest sector, but again, those more populated islands of Fiji and Tonga may get away with not much damage from this system. Having a look now at the Euros model, and they're saying for at midnight tonight, we've got Tropical Cyclone Titania sitting here off the coast of Queensland, with its little friend also spinning here to the east of the New Caledonian Islands. Now looking forward through to 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, Valentine's Day, and we can see that, well, these systems continue in their little southerly track down the coast of Queensland, and for Titania's little friend, it's just travelling here towards New Zealand. And then at 9 a.m, well, we can see that by this time Titania's pretty much lost all form, packing a bit of a wind there just to its west, but really has started washing out by this stage. As she continues to make a little bit of a U-turn, just like what the DFS said, the Euro also agreeing that Titania could be taking a bit of a U-turn and heading back up the coast of Queensland. Again, not expected to affect the coastline weather-wise. The only thing to be watching out for will be those dangerous surf conditions as she spins away there in the Coral Sea. Her friend over here, well, it's continuing to pack a punch pretty much to its southern side and southeastern sort of side, but seems to be well away from any populated islands. If we now go through to Monday morning at 9 a.m, and we can see that these systems, Titania is continuing her march kind of back up the coast, but also she's doing this northeasterly kind of track back up towards New Caledonia. At this stage, nothing like a tropical cyclone, pretty much washed out, and would just be a low pressure system at this time. Interestingly enough, her friend though, which yesterday was still expected to be packing quite a big punch by Monday, has de-intensified quite a bit according to the Euro, and so still could be a cyclone, but maybe only a Cat 1 or a Cat 2 cyclone at this stage, and it also making this easterly, maybe northeasterly sort of track as it heads towards Tonga and Fiji, but again de-intensifying quite a bit here at 9 a.m. on Monday. So what is it that could be killing Titania? Well, it could have a bit to do with the sea surface temperature in the region that she is moving into. At this stage, she's sitting here in this dark orange to light orange area. The dark orange is very favorable conditions for her. Light orange, not so much. Now, as she continues to track to the south or southeast, we'll have a look at what the sea surface temperatures do as she tracks down in that way. And we can see that at 9 a.m. on Saturday, that these temperatures still continue to be, they seem to be following her, but not as much as she needs in order to keep up her intensity. By this stage, as we know, she's down here just off the coast of New Caledonia, and the temperatures there, while they are warm, maybe not warm enough for her to continue to intensify, so therefore she will start de-intensifying instead. The other factor will be just where she is situated, because she's now coming out of that tropical sort of climate and coming into this more, I guess, subtropical or non-tropical type of environment. So that could be the other thing that may be de-intensifying her at this stage. Now if we look through to Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and what we can see is that the sea surface temperatures do seem to retract a little bit away from where the system is expected to be at this time. So the system is meant to be kind of over here, further or closer to the Queensland coast, and you can see that there's a lot of this yellow shading happening around in this area, which is not very good for cyclones, and therefore it could be a contributing factor as to why she de-intensifies. If we now look at the relative humidity for this system, and as we can pretty much see that at 9 o'clock this evening, that's Friday on the 12th, Titania is sitting pretty well in the middle here, or maybe further north, should I say, to be more precise. She has got a lot of blue around her at the moment. She seems to have a nice moist flow coming in through here, but the real killer for her is this pink air. All this pink air symbolizes dry air, and they are one of the major things that kills these systems. And there's a lot of it at the moment. Pretty much all of the Australian continent is covered with this dry air, and anywhere that she goes, she's going to be encountering this dry air. If we now go forward through to tomorrow night, Saturday, at 9 p.m. And what we can see here is that she's still sitting in this blue shaded area. She is closer to the coast by this time, by 9 p.m. on Saturday night. But this warm, or this dry air, should I say, is really starting to make its presence known for this system, which is really making it hard for it to continue to remain a system. So we've got cooler sea surface temperatures. We've also got dry air wrapping around this system, effectively choking it. Now we look through to Sunday night, and what we can see is that Titania is still close to the centre or to the coast of Queensland. She's still surrounded by this blue, but it's not very much at all. And we can see that this dry air really wrapping around the system and making its presence known, effectively killing the system at this stage. So we've got the combination of the cooler sea surface temperatures, plus we've got this dry air, plus we've got where the system is going to be located, or contributing towards the de-intensification of Titania. For her little friend, it's sitting still in quite good and favourable conditions in this dark blue area. So be interesting to see what the trigger is for the de-intensification of that system. If we have a look now at the Earth's Null School website, which shows us the winds and the directions over the Earth's surface, and we can see our two systems sitting here. We've got Titania sitting right here off the coast of Yeppoon, and we've got her friend over here looking quite strong between Noumea and the Fiji Islands. So quite clearly see the eye of these systems. They are well defined, both of the systems, and looking as if, well, if they were near land, they would certainly be noticed. And looking at our newest website, Windy TY, and to see where it says the winds are going to be, and we can see the two systems here. We've got tropical cyclone Titania here and her friend sitting over here near those islands. If we now have a look at what's going to happen into tomorrow, and basically the systems, as we suspected, are going to be heading in this southerly direction. As they do, her friend has got this quite strong winds here to its east and southeast, while Titania looks as if she is weakening. Into Sunday, and they continue this southerly track as forecast. Titania seems to put on the brakes just a little bit, except for in that last one. She seemed to be taking on the brakes. She is getting closer to the Queensland coastline, but the Bureau is saying that she should be de-intensifying, and by this stage should actually just be a very deep tropical low. Then into Monday, we can see she does that bit of a U-turn, and she says, "Well, I'm going to head back up towards the northern Queensland region," and that's the track she seems to adopt throughout Monday. And that's all we have time for this evening. Thank you for watching, and we'll continue monitoring this system until it becomes either a tropical low or moves out of our area of responsibility. So until we see you in the next update, thanks for watching and good night.